This is the Slim Down and Strengthen Up program presented by the Seattle Athletic Club. I'm Blake, and Jacob is not with us currently, but he is our fitness director. He's been helping out a lot with putting this program together. So just to recap how to be successful with this program, we've gone over this every single week so far, but I think it's important, so I'm going to keep going over it. So step one is to show up. So if you showed up tonight, thank you. Step two is to participate. If you have questions, or if you have particular questions that relate to your specific lifestyle situation, feel free to ask them. We want this to be applicable to you and to make this most beneficial for you personally. Be kind to yourself as you undertake a new workout or diet plan. You're bound to have slip-ups, so just make sure that you're treating yourself like you treat a friend, and always giving yourself grace as you make new changes in your life and try to treat yourself well. And lastly, make one small change every single week. So tonight we're talking about nutrition and meal prepping. So if you can find one thing from tonight's presentation to implement in the next week, this stuff is going to build like the compound effect. Small habits every single week are going to compound over time. And before you know it, you've got the whole healthy lifestyle kind of built out in your favor. So with that said, tonight's topic is why am I so hungry? Feed me. We figured this would be a good time to chat about meal prepping. So meal prep, I'm a little biased, but I think meal prep is the single best thing you can do for your health and fitness goals, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight. If you have meals ready to go, ready to, whenever you're hungry, whenever it's time to eat, so you don't stop for the takeout or you don't waste time, prepping meals on the fly, it's going to be awesome for your success. So I wanted to go over a few things, a few of the benefits with regards to meal prepping. Like I said, the first thing is just saving time, right? So when you're in a pinch and you are hungry and you don't have any food ready, you have to either cook food or you have to look in the cupboards, figure out what you want to make. There's so many different decisions on the table. It's just, you waste a lot of time trying to make food on the fly. So by having meals ready to go, you eliminate all that time right there. It also means fewer dishes, right? If you already have the meal in a container ready to go, just eat it, wash one dish, and you're good. You're going to save a lot of money. Now, eating healthy gets a bad rap for being more expensive. If you're buying a lot of healthy supplements and organic meats, organic everything, it can add up. But when you're meal prepping, you're buying stuff in bulk, and it's going to be a lot cheaper than constantly going to restaurants or takeout or just any of the other boxed dinners on the fly. So it's also great for managing your portions. If you kind of cook one large batch of something at night, you're likely to eat a little more, probably have second helpings. If you're going to take out, I mean, the portions are so variable. If you're trying to track your calories or anything, it's hard to really get a good gauge of what's in that food. If someone, just the different chef might make it with more butter, more oil or something, and that's going to change the caloric value of that food. So by kind of pre-portioning your own meals, you can manage those portions and get the calories right for your goals. If you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, you can kind of set that up for you personally, which is awesome because as we know, takeout food, restaurant food, it's all kind of made just one size, usually very big portions. It's going to reduce stress. So, figuring out what to make for dinner might seem harmless, but it's another decision you have to think about, especially at the end of the day. You've had a long work day, you've had stresses from relationships or just work stress, you're probably already in a state of stress, and it becomes really easy to just find comfort foods. But if you have the meal's already made, just takes all of the guesswork out of it. No stress. It's a great opportunity to learn about nutrition. So as you're experimenting with different meals and stuff, you can learn about proteins, carbs, and fats, and how much to put in each meal, kind of based on your goals. It's a great way to learn how these different macronutrients make you feel. More protein might cause you digestive issues, but protein is a very important part of your diet. So making sure to include a little bit, but not too much. Kind of just different things to experiment with. And then lastly, you're going to become a better cook as you experiment with new recipes. You're going to learn what spices you like, how a little bit of extra cream might add more thickness, and all these different things that go into being a culinary artist. But you'll start to kind of develop your own cooking skills as you play around with recipes. So just a few of the things that I think are very beneficial about meal prep. So do you meal prep at all, Steve?
Yeah, I the version of it that I tend to do is like I'll buy a sort of bulk salady stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I'll have that stored and ready to go, and or seasoned, cut, ready to go. And then usually what I'll do is each night or during the week I'll buy like a steak or a piece of fish or something like that I can then combine with the salad and maybe something like asparagus or something like that, a vegetable like that. That's the version I don't do it like every night, but that's the version of it that I do probably three or four times a week. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense doing that.
I bulk, stuff on the weekend, and I chop all the tomatoes up and I keep them separate from the cucumbers and the celery and all that kind of thing,
Yeah, so it stays fresh.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Good plan. So assuming you're watching this and you haven't meal prepped before and you're just kind of overwhelmed by what it takes to meal prep, because a lot of people think like, oh, I don't have time for that, or I don't really know how to cook, or there's always excuses. And I shouldn't say excuses. There's always reasons that are going to prevent you from giving this a shot. The first one is just to start small, right? So don't go ahead and prep breakfast, lunch, and dinner all on one day. If you're just starting to prepare healthy meals, just start by preparing one meal, breakfast, for example, and just prepare for 2 days worth. That way it just takes 5 minutes. One night you could make like some overnight oats, for example, which I'll show you my favorite recipe for that here in a sec. That takes 5 minutes to make, and you can make a batch of 2 or 3 containers, and then you have that ready for your breakfast in the morning, so you're not tempted to stop at Starbucks on the way to work or something. Pick one day or one night. For me, it's Sundays. That's what it is for a lot of people. I know it's the classic one: prep all your meals on the Sunday before the week. That works for me. I've gotten to the point to where it just takes me an hour or two on a Sunday, and I can kind of watch sports while I'm doing it, or listen to a podcast or something. That works for me. You could also pick one night during the week, maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday, middle of the week, just to have some meals ready to go for the rest of the week to carry you out as the week gets busier and stuff. But yeah, just find what works for you. You have to kind of schedule it, set it in your calendar so you make sure to actually get it done. So set yourself up for success with regards to that. Buy special containers. They have a ton of cool meal prep containers nowadays, but if you have that kind of the ones that kind of divide up, where your protein, your carbs, and your veggies should go, those are kind of helpful. But sometimes you can just get one, like a plate in the picture there, just to mix it all together. It doesn't really matter. I always recommend glass. Plastics now, there's been some studies on the BPA from the plastics kind of getting into your food, and those are some kind of toxins that we don't really need in our body. And it's also good just to cut down on plastic consumption in general with regards to the health of the planet. Make sure you have a shopping list. So if what I always recommend is kind of take some time just to scroll through the internet, scroll through Pinterest, or, just a website, find, what it is you want to make, and then have your list. That way you're not just on the fly trying to figure out, what might be good. Steve's idea is great with regards to just getting some pre-packaged veggies or salads, and then just having kind of different items ready in your fridge when it's time to just put that meal together. I do that too sometimes. I'll just have like some white rice prepped, a random protein like some chicken thighs or some ground turkey, and then some stir-fry veggies in different Tupperware containers. And then I can just put the meal together when it's time to eat. But again, just kind of know what it is you're going to eat if you have a recipe, or if it's just a bunch of random ingredients. Just have that in mind so you're not aimlessly walking around the grocery store. Kind of a simple one there. Speaking of simple, keep it simple. You don't need to go try out these crazy curries that involve 50 spices, although that can be good. But just keep it simple. Find a couple spices that are good. I love like a Creole seasoning is one of my favorites. I don't know what's exactly in it, but I put that on all my vegetables. Same with the Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning. You can put that on most vegetables. You can add put on top some cheese and bread. It's super versatile. So just find a couple of seasoning blends that you like, and then that's going to make your vegetables and carbs taste a lot better. And then, yeah, just don't reinvent the wheel. You know, there's no reason to try to make your own recipes. There's so many websites that have awesome meals for prep purposes. Like I said, Pinterest, the social media app, if you just search meal prep, there's tons of articles on there that have healthy recipes. One of my favorites is called Fit Men Cook. It's by this guy named Kevin Curry. He's an awesome chef, and I've been following him for many years, and he's just grown his recipe base for a long time. And he has a nice app called Fit Men Cook, and it makes it really simple. It has a huge library of recipes, meal prep, breakfast recipes, high protein recipes, low carb recipes, you name it. And it also has like a meal planning feature in which you can kind of put in your calorie goals, and then it'll spit out like some good meal options for the whole day. So you can kind of do that, and then it'll also build a shopping list. So if you're interested in that, just send me an email or something. I can send you a link to the app or the website. And yeah, so with that, I mean, that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of meal prepping. So I just have 4 recipes that I wanted to share. These are, like I said, I'm a little biased. I put this presentation together, so these aren't like my favorite recipes, but hopefully you like them. And if you do like them, I can send you this presentation, or yeah, you can take a screenshot or something, whatever works. But they're very simple recipes. So the first 2 are breakfast, and the next 2 are more lunch dinner recipes. So this one is super easy. It's a high protein spinach and bacon egg muffin. Not much to talk about here. It's just the ingredients and directions, but super simple, just 5 ingredients, and you can use whatever type of meat you want. I like bacon, but you can also do sausage, maybe even some chicken breast chunks, or even no meat. And then you can also do some green peppers, but even just spinach is fine. So yeah, these are awesome just to grab them for breakfast. It's a low carb breakfast, so you might not need carbs in the morning, and this is a good one just to kind of hit the protein fat, get the proteins and healthy fats. I mentioned overnight oats earlier. This is one of my favorites. Like I said, I make this almost every night for the next breakfast, especially when I have to get up early in the morning to train a client. If I have this already ready just to eat real quick before I go. Super delicious, super high protein. Yeah. This one, if you haven't made this before, it is the easiest, best recipe. So all you need is a bunch of chicken, can even be frozen, and then your favorite type of salsa. And you just pretty much throw it in a crock pot or a slow cooker and cook it on low for 6 to 8 hours. It makes the chicken super moist and juicy and full of flavor. You don't have to worry about any spices. I mean, it's already all in the salsa. Literally just dump it in the crock pot, and then like 8 hours later, you have an awesome meal for the whole week. And then you can just serve that up for some rice or potatoes, or even just, the chicken and the vegetables, or put on your salad. And then lastly, this one is one I just made yesterday, actually. It's just a creamy shrimp and vegetable rigatoni. Again, just a few ingredients. I added in this ingredients list, I added more vegetables, but you don't have to have all those vegetables. But pretty much the essentials are just a good rigatoni. You can use whole grain. I didn't for this one. I just use regular pasta. Some sort of protein. I use shrimp. And then the light cream cheese is what does it. It makes it so creamy and not too many calories. So with that, yeah, lastly, I wanted to talk about building the perfect meal. So I was going to put some slides together about how to really do this, but I actually found online Precision Nutrition put together a really good article on how to do this. Can you see this?
Yes.
So this is their kind of infographic on how to build the perfect meal. You might have seen something like this before or heard about it, but I think it's worth going over. So, step one, they just have, choose one ingredient from each of these 4 columns. You have your protein, your vegetable, a carb, and a healthy fat. So you need all 4 of these components. These are like kind of the building blocks of your healthy meal. And I won't go, through all of these, but you can, if you want the link to this, I can send it to you. It's an awesome little resource. So a whole bunch of options there to put the building blocks together. And then this is the hand portion guide. So Precision Nutrition kind of brought this to the nutrition game. They have the protein is one palm size. vegetables is a whole fist, carbs is just a cupped handful, and then a fat is 1 thumb. And then you just adjust these portions based off your goal. So I would always aim for 2 palms if you're a guy, 1 palm if you're a woman at every meal. And then you can play around with your carbs and your fats based off of what you need. You know, if you're about to work out, probably have, you know, a good portion of carbs before the workout and after, for that matter. And then maybe you don't need carbs for the rest of the day, and you can kind of play around with these portions as you go. And then the last few steps are just on, you know, kind of how to add flavors. They have a bunch of different spices here based off of what type of cuisine you're going for. I feel like I'm always doing some sort of Italian thing. So the oregano and basil are ones that I do a lot. But man, I mean, they have some of these I didn't even know. I don't know how to really make Thai food. They have a whole bunch of different spices there that go with Thai food. So that's pretty cool. And then they have basics on how to cook it. Just when to add your spices, when to add your citrus, bunch of good stuff here. So this is an awesome resource just for putting together your healthy meal. But I think the essentials are just the ones up top with regards to your protein, smart carb, vegetable, and fat, and then how much to eat. So yeah, that's about it for tonight's presentation. Do you have any other specific questions about meal prepping? I know this one was a quick one. So if anything with regards to nutrition or anything.
No, I tell you what has worked out for me though. I bought one of these air fryers. You know, it's
oh yeah,
on your counter, and gosh, they're great for, you know, for grilling a steak or grilling some fish, or, you know, roasting some little roasting vegetables, that kind of thing. Honestly, I'm stunned at how effective it is. It's really, I don't know why we call it an air fryer, because nothing gets fried, but you just can't beat, you know, putting something in there and 15 minutes later it's perfectly cooked. And as I say, you can cook anything. At least it seems to be able to cook anything. Tofu that you've dressed with, you know, flour or something like that, and get it nice and crispy on the outside. It's, oh, they're amazing. They're amazing space savers and labor savers. I couldn't recommend them enough. I wasn't convinced, and then I bought one, and now I'm like, I'm all over it.
Yeah, that's thanks for bringing that up, because I got one myself a couple years ago, and there was a funny meme going around about how when you get an air fryer, you can't shut up about it because of how great it is. And it's so true. I mean, yeah, like you said.
Yeah, I was walking around Costco about I don't know, this must be 5 or 6 months ago, and I walked past these 4 guys, you know, and they're all saying, "Oh, this thing is so good, you got it," and they weren't saying it to me; they were saying it to each other, and I was like, I was going down there to buy socks, you know what I mean? And I come out with this lovely air fryer. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. I can't get away.
Wait, so did you get it that time?
I did.
Yeah, awesome. They convinced you. That's cool. Yeah, I do. I use it as a toaster too now. I toast my bread in there. I do tons of vegetables.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally make chicken wings in there, and they taste pretty close to, you know, the normal fried version.
Yeah, and you know, like for home fries for a Sunday morning breakfast as well. Geez, you just toss it in oil and some tarragon or something like that. Oh my gosh, tastes tremendous. Really great.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. One other thing I wanted to mention is the Kitchen Market right next to the Seattle Athletic Club. Not right next, but it's like a block over. They're a small little grocery store, but they also sell a ton of prepackaged meals for meal prep. And they're a nice little local small business, good place to support, but they have, I mean, awesome, delicious meals. So if it's in your budget just to kind of buy prepackaged meals, they'd be a good place to look and start.
Yeah, I agree. I've had 1 or 2 meals out of there myself. I have. Yeah, it's very good.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, nutrition is the biggest aspect, I think, when it comes to maintaining a healthy lifestyle, because, you know, you can work out every day, but it's still just a small portion of the day. So what you feed yourself is what really matters. So
yeah.
Well, thanks for coming, Steve. You got all the attention tonight. I hope some people catch the recording of this. And
well, I appreciate it, Blake. Thanks very much for all your efforts.